Hey guys, happy Monday again. Today is Monday, January 7th, 2019. First couple of shows of the year. We're really excited to be back. I've missed you guys. We're up at the beautiful Citrus Club on the 18th floor of the BB&T building, if you don't know where we do these shows. And I'm with the more gorgeous, more beautiful, more sweet human being, Tia Billis, next to me.
Hi.
So say hi to Tia. It's John Wild. I see you on there. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know you can hear us and see us. We're in, Shamara, who was on earlier, is watching. We're in the same room, but at a different angle. Oh, there it is, John Wild. Hello there, and wow. Hi, Shamara. So they can definitely hear us.
Hello.
Shelly, what's up? Happy New Year, everybody. Anna Chanis is back on. How are you guys? All right, so we have a little bit of a wonderful, beautiful person who's nervous to be on Facebook Live with Ted. I mean, come on, it's just a conversation. We're happy to have you on here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so we want to learn a little bit about Tia. Stamatia. You can talk about that. Tia Billis. Give us a little background on you.
My name is Tia Billis. My father is Greek and my mother is Lebanese.
That hence the beautiful complexion, the skin. It's awesome. It's even prettier in person. Hey, Dave Benson.
Hi.
Heidi, what's up, Heidi?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. What more about me?
So tell us a little about you. Okay, so we know about your parents. Where are you from? You were born in Orlando. I just learned that.
Born and raised in Orlando.
And you grew up, where'd you go to high school?
I went to Boone.
Okay,
Brave.
Boone Brave. See, I went to Colonial.
Oh, my mother went to Colonial.
Did she really? She's probably much younger than me.
Yes, she might be. I don't know. She might be older than you, actually.
No, she's probably. Oh, Janessa. Oh, she's awesome.
Love you too.
We love you. We love Janessa.
She's great.
So you went to Boone. My wife went to Boone. So you really are a local girl.
I am.
So growing up here, what did you want to do? What did you want to be?
Oh. What did I want to be?
So here's the deal. I already know that people are not, hey, Jen, you aren't born and go, hey, I want to be a realtor when I grow up. Mm-hmm. So what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I think I wanted to be a singer or an actress. I want to sing.
She's got the skin and the look for it.
But I don't think I was that great of a singer. My mother always told me I was, but my mother always thinks I'm good at everything.
Well,
right?
she loves you. That's what we parents do.
Right, exactly. So I always thought I was going to be famous, right? I wanted to be famous. But that didn't work out too well. So I guess I went into real estate as the next step.
Yeah, but when you graduate, so you're done with high school, right? What is your dream after that? Did you go into real estate right after, or did you just kind of figure out what you wanted to do?
So I had no idea what I wanted to do when I got out of high school.
Most of us don't.
Right.
That's what I try to encourage people. I'm like, we don't all have the answers, people.
Exactly. So I got out of high school. I had no idea. I went to Valencia for a few years just to get my AA degree. And then I got a job somewhere that I thought I was making big money because I was getting paid $14 an hour, and I was so excited. So I said, I'm going to put Valencia on hold.
Sure.
To make good money. And at the time I was, I think, 21 maybe. So I was all excited. And I worked at a secondhand finance company for, I think, close to 2 years.
Secondhand finance company.
Yes.
Okay, what did they do? I'm fascinated by that. What was your, secondhand finance?
So I used to call people that had car loans, but they had really bad credit. So we're talking people that had a 24% interest rate on their car loans because they probably had 3 or 4 repos on their credit.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah. I used to call them and call their neighbors and get information so I can get them to pay their car loans.
So that was where you got the basis of your training.
Correct.
To work with, I'm sure you were always a people person. I'm guessing that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a Greek dad and a Lebanese mom. I don't think there's a quiet moment in your household.
I can talk to the wall. You put me in a room.
We understand. So that helped you hone your craft. So what did you do after that? Did you know immediately, all right, this is not what I want to stay with. The money was good, but this isn't what I want to do with the rest of my life.
So I then decided that I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life, like you said. And I went back to school for a little bit, and I just kind of was lost. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was I just had no guidance in where I wanted to go. I didn't really know what I loved, and had
it's
a passion
so hard
for.
to find that. I think people look, since you're already where you want to be, people are like, well, I don't know what I want to do, but you didn't either. I didn't either, right?
I had no idea, and someone said to me, you know, you should try real estate, and I was like, real estate? I don't want to do that. I don't want to not have a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks, or I don't like that. And both my parents have always been self-employed. My father is a mechanic, owns a body shop, and my mother is a hairstylist. So I was like, there's no way. I don't want anything like that in my life. But
yeah, it's funny because it must have been instilled in you someplace.
Right.
Because if they were both self-employed, both entrepreneurs, basically at heart and in spirit, it's there. But it is hard when you're getting the regular paycheck.
Correct.
To go, all right, I'm going to go straight commission. We find that in both our industries, in the mortgage industry too. It's super hard. You may have a ton of contacts, but can you convert them to sales? Can you actually understand how to work the market? So somebody said to you, you'd be good at it, and you took the chance.
Well, I don't think they said you'd be good. They were like, you should just try it.
That's fair.
And I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I went to the school, got my license. It took me 4 times to pass the
These
state
are
test.
fair confessions. People don't beat yourself up if you don't do it right the first time on any exam, to be honest with you.
4 times. And then I finally passed. I was so excited. And then I got into real estate.
And then, but here's the deal. So what happens with any industry, but real estate I can speak from, you take the exam, you pass, you're so happy, and then you realize, holy God, now I have to make money at this. I've been studying because that's your focus. You're focused solely on passing the exam. And now you have to get in, and just because you learned it in school, or you learned it in the classes, doesn't mean you know how to put it out there, how to convert it to sales and contracts and stuff like that. So who did you work with first?
So when I first started, I went into Exit Realty Central, and that's who I'm currently with right now.
Oh, so you haven't moved. No. That's amazing.
I don't like change. Hi, Dorothy.
Hi, Dorothy. I love her. Danny Hernandez, what's up, buddy?
Hey.
Yeah, I think that is actually unique, because I think a lot of times people graduate from the school, get their license, and then they go somewhere that maybe somebody's told them, but they certainly don't stay in it. What made you stay at Exit?
I don't like change.
You don't like change.
But I love Exit, and I love my broker, and I love everyone.
Who's your broker? Let's give a shout out.
Gil Ramos.
Gil Ramos. I know who your broker was. I just had to ask you. Gil Ramos, they're amazing. Yes, real estate practitioners wake up unemployed every day. That's true. Same. Anybody in the real estate, in the mortgage, really every day we're constantly pushing through.
Correct.
But a lot of times, the reason I ask you where you started, and it's amazing that you are still there, is because people get in and they realize they know absolutely nothing about the industry that they've just passed an exam for.
Right.
You need a mentor.
And you kind of go in, every realtor is so excited when they first start, right? And they're just, yay, I'm going to sell so many houses and I'm going to do so well. And then you get into it and you're like, whoa, this is not what I expected. And there's every other person is a realtor. So and I got into it and I was crying.
Were you? So what was the initial frustration? Was it because there was so much information that they didn't know, and Crystal, you didn't know the stuff, it wasn't on the exam. Remember, this is to get you licensed. It really, most of the time, has no practical input in anything you're doing. I don't care what license you're taking. I've done insurance and mortgage and many others, and when I get out in the real world, it has nothing to do with what the exam.
Correct.
James King says, a natural star. I love it.
So I guess I just got into it, and I was young. So I was 22, 23, I think, when I started. And my sphere was people going into college or finishing up or getting another degree. They had student loans. So my sphere was nothing. It was not anything that I was going to be able to sell to. So I was panicking, and along with other people that had got into real estate, they were in their 30s and their friends were ready to sell their house and buy a new house. And I was like, oh my God, this is not for me.
Well, because what happens, and Sean, you're right, mentorship is key. He hashtagged that. I think that what happens, you get in and you think you've got this powerful circle. Like you've got friends that are supporting you, family that support you the whole way. But when it comes to actually selling, when you actually have to sell a home, when you have to get somebody to say, I trust you, Tia, that is where the rubber meets the road. And it's not always as easy as it's put out there to be.
Correct. I mean, everyone, when you become a realtor, they know that you're going to be a realtor. They always say,
hey, Skinner, I love Skinner.
They always say, oh, I have so many friends that want to buy a house, and they want to buy. Well, what most people don't understand is you have to have decent credit, and you have to have a job.
Preach, sister, preach.
And you have to have down payment, and you're not able to just say, oh, I want to buy a house. And then, people start realizing that when they get more into the business, and all those 10, 15, 20, 30 people that said they wanted to buy, they can no longer qualify, or they go and they buy with someone else.
This is the other thing that's a challenge, I think, in your industry, well, in both our industries, is because people say, well, I knew you, but, or, oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
And I think that what happens is, because it is such a personal thing, that you really do have to build that centers of influence, those people you were talking about. That trust level has to be there in order for them to go, all right, well, I want Tia to help me. Because remember, you're not just worried about the real estate contract. I think the realtor has the hardest job, in my opinion, in the entire transaction. Because you have to balance me, the other agent, the borrower, the seller, the title company, the inspector, I don't know, name 1,000 other things that you have to balance and make sure that it's right in order for that transaction to go to closing.
That's correct.
All right, so what did you do different? So you said you were limited in the beginning. How did you grow your centers of influence? How did you grow your database, your people that were surrounding you, so that you could get more sales?
I invested in my business, and that's one key thing I can say to anyone getting into any business that you can think of is invest. I put out money for marketing or my lead sources. I started investing into Realtor.com when I first started, getting my face out there, getting people to inquire, and that's kind of how I started, and I still do now, because I'm a strong believer in Zillow. I love Zillow. I know there are a ton of realtors that are knocking it daily.
What is it that you love about it, and why do you think those realtors are knocking it?
I think a lot of realtors are not used to it, and they think that it's going to put them out of the business, but I don't believe in that. I mean, if you can't beat them, join them. That's how I see it. And honestly, my return on what I get from Zillow is 7 times.
But I bet you, I'm going to bet, and I don't know this for sure, but I bet you have a very strict, really good process in place in order to work leads. So we get leads in the mortgage industry. I used to get them in the insurance industry. Every single industry has a lead source, leads that you can buy, leads that you can purchase. The difficulty is that you think the lead is going to immediately magically turn into a sale. So you must have some sort of process in place that makes your leads more successful, or a demographic. Tell them a little bit about whatever secrets you want to share.
Well, I mean, I really don't have any secrets. I'm an open book. I don't mind helping people. So, I mean, my biggest thing is I contact the lead right away. I try to hook them right away. You know, in our business, we were taught, don't ever show property without a pre-approval. I agree to an extent. I have a way of doing things that I will meet that buyer at a property the first time without a pre-approval. And then from there, when they meet me and they see what knowledge I have, I then start talking about the pre-approval process to make sure that they're comfortable with me. Because if the first thing, it's a really big turnoff to me, at least, if you call someone and you're, hey, are you pre-approved? Oh, you're not pre-approved. Oh, you need to get pre-approved right now. If you don't do it right now, I can't show you anything. I just feel that they need to meet you, get comfortable with you, and then once they see who you are and feel comfortable, then you start that process.
So I think that what you're doing, you're still screening people because you're meeting with them. Sean goes, Zillow can be beaten. I love it. You're still screening them because you're meeting them, and you're getting a good idea of what you're getting yourself into by that discussion. Like, I love to give pre-approvals, weekends, evenings. I'm big on that.
Right.
But I also think that just throwing out a pre-approval before you have a relationship with your realtor, hey Allie, hey Steve, that also seems to me disingenuous. So you're right, there has to be, in my opinion, there has to be a balance. Right. You just can't tell everybody who calls you, do you have a pre-approval? No, call me back when you do. Because you know what they're gonna do? Call the next realtor. Exactly. I just wanna tell you. And so you have to build some sort of rapport. They have 1,000 other choices beside you. And so you have to figure out a way. So you taking the chance on them, let's say it's an hour out of your time. It's still an important hour where you establish that rapport. Correct. And then you can have the real conversation with them. So I love that. Hey, Francis, Nate Freeman, what's up? I love all these people. Anna, that's right. Relationships matter. All right, so what do you think the market is? Because we keep hearing a lot of stuff about the market. So the interest rates went up, the interest rates went down, the stock market crashed, then it went up again and it recovered. How are you feeling, or what are you seeing out there in the market? And are you experiencing the same challenges that everyone is, or are you addressing them in a different way?
So I'm more of a buyer's agent. I've always been. I enjoy working with buyers. I have listings and I do listings, but for me on the buyer's end, I'm not seeing as many challenges, to be honest with you. I think that...
Why? Why do you think? Is that because you're really super engaged and involved?
Well, I think there's going to be more houses on the market for sitting for a little bit longer. So it's not a bad thing on the buyer's end. I mean, right now, I don't think that the market's going to crash at all. I just think it's leveling out. So we're not going to have multiple offers.
Well, it's correcting, right? Correct. That's what leveling, that's what you meant, right?
So I think that we're not going to have as many multiple offers driving up the prices. But I think that buyers still want to buy. I mean, I know buyers still want to buy because I have buyers looking now. I just think there's going to be more options for them. But I don't think we're going to have too many issues. And I'm hoping not. I mean, I'm here for the ride, so I don't think anything is...
Well, I get the messages, right? Because I'm on the mortgage side. And of course I deal with, I have, all my friends are realtors, most of you. I love you if you're not a realtor and you're my friend. But you know what I mean? So, but what I get a lot of is, Ted, the interest rates crept up. I read that the market's crashing now because, and so remember, historically, rates are still low.
They are.
And think about the Orlando market as a whole, the Central Florida market as a whole, in the rental market, the amount of money that you are paying for a rental. It's absolutely insane. I love my property managers and my apartment people. Don't get me wrong. Eric, what's up? But I think it's so important for you to look at that $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 a month more for some of these places that you're paying that rent for and getting zero equity. I don't understand it. And apartments have become, you probably know this, super difficult to get into. Right. So now you're going through this credit check that I'm 100% sure, because I've seen it, isn't as hard as the credit check you have to go through to get the mortgage for me. You have issues with income and your debt, but other than that, I just think that it's such a great time to buy. And so every time I have a realtor friend on like Tia, I just like to put it out there. I want you to stop being afraid of getting into the market and putting your toe in. What's the worst that can happen? You can find the house of your dreams, or you cannot find it and you keep renting. But at least you're getting out of it.
Well, you're paying someone's mortgage. If it's not yours, it's someone else's.
Correct.
So, I mean, the best thing you can do is invest in something that's going to be yours and is going to build equity. So,
because the equity is so important. All right, so when you're coaching, when you're mentoring somebody, because there's a lot of people out there we have a lot of realtors on right now, which I love. So the realtors want to know, because we're all kind of in this this flux. But we also have some people that are consumers that want to go, hey, I want to get involved, but I'm afraid. A lot of millennials especially, which millennials are not as young as you think, by the way. It's 1980 something. But they want to get into the market, but they are so conditioned not to get into the market. So how do you, when you're marketing to somebody, Brian Rusi, we were just talking about him. Brian Rusi, hello. What do you do to get out there in the market? You have Zillow, but you obviously have a personality. So it's not just Zillow that you do. Do you network? Do you go to events? Do you take Bobby and Gil up on every, Gil's her broker, every possible event that you can go to? How do you do things where you're making more of an impact on your business, not just Zillow oriented?
I do. I go to different events, and I also have started getting, referrals. Brian.
We're going to ignore you,
sorry.
Rusi, like we usually do.
You know
but
what? I
it's
might
fine.
be able to find you something in Point Siena.
Point Siena, Rusi. That's where you're at.
I do. I network, and now I've started getting referrals, and past clients have sent me, people that they know, because they know that I'm trustworthy and they enjoy my work ethic.
Do you keep in touch with your past clients? Yes. So talk about that, because I think a lot of times there's a study, many studies that have gone out, that realtors, mortgage people too, we're super bad at keeping in touch with the people that we have done business with in the past. And because of that, they will pick a new realtor or a new loan officer faster than you can say fast.
Correct.
And I promise you, if you're keeping in touch, they won't be able to do that.
I love to keep my clients on my Facebook because I feel that they can see just who I am every day. I'm not just a realtor, I'm a person, I'm their friend. So I like to keep them engaged on my Facebook and see what I do everyday life, see how I vacation, see just everything. So I keep them on my Facebook, and I also, every Christmas, I handwrite cards to all my clients just to let them know that I'm thinking about them throughout the holidays. And it hurts my hand a lot. But
there's a true confession right there.
I do it just to show them that I took the time out for them, because I could go and get a card that was typed up and just signed, but I want them to know that I thought about them, and I put personal things in my cards just so that they know that I know who I'm writing to.
The personal thing is so important. So
Correct.
Listen to what she's saying. You can pay one of those card services to send out cards, but I want to encourage you to do what Tia's doing and make it more personal. People remember that. The art of sending personalized cards is coming back. There are many companies that are established, even here locally in Orlando and Winter Park, that are gearing themselves toward that. And if you're not on board with that, then I think you're going to miss out, because that's what people want. They don't want the generic. I can't tell you how many generic, I love all of you guys, I do, how many generic cards I got in the mail.
You throw 'em out.
And I looked at them, and they're all pre-printed. Even the signature's pre-printed. I love you, but it's expensive, and it's not personal, and then I don't feel connected to you. And I don't need you to send me a newsletter of your dog or your child, but I do want you to at least acknowledge that we have a relationship. And I think people miss out on the relationship part all the time. All right, so see how easy that was?
Yeah, it was kind of
We're going to share all of Tia's contact information, how you can reach out to her, how you can get involved with whatever she's doing. And I promise you, if you ask her a question, she's going to answer it. She's an open book, and she wants to help you guys out because she's a giver.
I am.
She is a giver. All right, talk a little bit, before I ask for your parting words of wisdom, I want to know, talk a little bit about what it was growing up in a Greek-Lebanese household, because I grew up in an Italian household, so there was a lot of yelling and screaming, all with love, and a lot of great food and a lot of good booze, just for the record. I didn't have the Windex like the movie.
No Windex. Unfortunately, that is not true.
But do they have, it's interesting to me, because do they have...
That's my
Hi,
transaction
Chris.
coordinator.
Chris is the best. We love you, Chris.
Chris helps me.
I need to get Chris on the show. I owe him a show, actually.
He's great.
He's wonderful. Was there anything interesting growing up that you can share that you were like, God, nobody else's family does this, Dad and Mom.
Well, anybody that knows my father knows he is a character. He is something else. He's very loud. It was always my mother is very calm.
She's the calm one?
Very calm. She's very calm and quiet, and she's very passive. And my father is just, I mean, I probably...
Full Greek.
Yes. I mean, as Greek as you can get. And he's a character. He's always very loud. He has no inside voice.
I don't know any Italian that has an inside voice either, just for the record.
He has no idea what it is to be calm. And even when he's talking, he's loud, and people are like, why are you yelling? He's like, I'm not yelling, I'm talking.
That's true.
Yeah.
I get that. I think people misunderstand it because that's just how Greeks, Italians,
right.
I mean, pick an ethnicity. That's how we talk
Exactly.
to each other. Did you grow up with amazing food in the house?
Yes, but I hated it because I wanted to be American. I didn't want to eat grape leaves and pasticcio and tzatziki and hummus. I didn't want that.
See, that makes me starving right now.
I would go, now I appreciate it, but I would go to my neighbor's house, who they were American, and funny thing about it is they would have the frozen dinners. And it was Salisbury steak. I had never tried Salisbury steak before, and I thought it was the best thing ever.
No way, because that's a made-up dish that the TV dinner people put together.
Well, for me, it was amazing because I didn't want to have hummus and pita bread and salads and any of that. So I just thought it was the best thing with mashed potatoes and gravy, which I had never had gravy because my parents didn't. That's not.
There's no gravy in Greece.
Correct.
I don't even know.
So I would be so excited to go and have frozen dinners instead of having our traditional Greek, Lebanese, anything you can think of.
I love it. But no Windex. We talked about
No
that.
Windex.
No Windex. All right. You've been a joy to have on. We're going to share all of Tia's contact information, how you can reach out to her, any parting words of wisdom for them before we head out.
Just do what makes you happy. Invest. If you're going to start a business or a company, invest in your business. That's my biggest thing when people ask me, how did I become successful in real estate? I invested in my business, and I truly believe in that.
I love it. All right. Was it hard?
No.
See, it
was
wasn't
easy.
difficult. All right. We love you guys. We'll be back around 2 o'clock with Veronica Figueroa.
Oh, she's a beast.
She
You want to tune in for someone that has amazing knowledge. Definitely tune in for
You
one.
had amazing knowledge. I want you to give yourself credit. That was a great show. You're awesome.
you.
Thank you, Tia, for coming on.
Thank
We
you,
love you
guys.
guys. Thanks for participating.
Have a great day.
See you soon.